you're live.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome in to another edition of the Morning Edge. DeadPresPicks, joined by Krabs Bets. Lots to get into, guys. Big weekend slate. First, we have to do the first order, the Thunderdome. So let's get into that. Big time Thunderdome episode, and ended up with my fifth ring. I'm going to say it. You know what? Ended up being a good win. It was a little bit closer than we wanted it to be, but ended up walking away with the fifth ring. Krabs, what do you think?
Yeah, still learning the ropes, still a rookie out here. Not making excuses, but I will definitely hit my stride come mid-season.
Yes.
For now, still learning every day, getting better every day.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah, it's not easy to come. It's not easy to come in. I think I actually lost my first two Thunderdomes also, so there's hope. There's hope that you'll end up with 5 one day. It happens. Shout out again to Austin for coming on at CallingOurShot. Gave us some NBA props. It was a fun episode. So as we do every Friday, we will have another Thunderdome coming up this week with another great guest. So keep an eye on that. And then I got to recap the ladder, guys. Sad day, Krabs. Purdue let me down. I don't know if you caught this game.
I caught it. I caught plenty of it. Yeah, I was burned as well. I had them ML in a couple parlays, a couple little 2-piece parlays, juicing them up a little bit. That was cake.
Yeah.
Mistakes, man. Not a good bet. That Purdue team is whack. Trace Jackson Davis didn't even play well, and they still found a way to win. Zach Edey soft.
Yeah, is that what it is? You think? You think we just call Edey soft the rest of the year?
No. I'm chirping him. He's not even the problem. The problem is Purdue's guards now are not overperforming at a ridiculous rate like they were in the beginning of the season. Fletcher Lawyer is not playing like Stephen Curry anymore. So, defenses have figured out if they press that backcourt really hard, it really makes them uncomfortable. And by the time they're getting Edey the ball in the paint, there's only 10 seconds left in the shot clock, and teams have found a way to beat them. So that's kind of how they're winning. It's not Edey's not the problem, but look, Edey can't create offense on his own like Trace can. Trace can bring the ball up the floor, right? Yep. Edey has to be spoon-fed. So that's the difference, and it's been hurting them.
Yeah, thing with Purdue, Krabs, there's a blueprint out on how to beat them, and it's take Zach Edey out of the game. So that's why I said a couple weeks ago, Purdue I never thought was like a legit one. My announcement though for the ladder challenge, Krabs, this is gonna be fun. We're doing a all March Madness ladder. That can't be more entertaining. We got to day 6. We got to day 10. 14-2.
This one hurts to look at, man. Gosh.
14-2 all time on ladder picks and nothing to show for it. So
Purdue was laying 8.5 in this game, guys. He bought down to 2. Like they were minus 300 on the ML. They were sharp. Nobody thought they were going to be laying 8 to Indiana. Yeah. We thought they were going to be closer to a pick 'em.
Yep.
Gosh, man.
And then Gonzaga, of course, easy win.
They took care of business, of course. Yeah, that's how parlays always lose.
They were laying 6 or 5.5, right? That line was Gonzaga all the way. So, couple heavy favorites that maybe shouldn't have been based on the line. Indiana beat them. I did not think Indiana would beat Purdue twice. But yeah, no love for Purdue. If you're a Purdue fan, I don't think you guys are gonna have much going for you.
Now I'm rooting against them. Now I don't like them. How about that?
I hate Purdue. Yeah,
I hope they get knocked out.
Purdue's my least favorite college now. Yeah, I don't even know. Where is it? Indiana? What's there even to do with Purdue? Purdue sucks. If you go to Purdue, transfer. If you're thinking about going to Purdue, don't. I mean, nothing good to say about Purdue. Don't. But it's gonna be fun, Krabs. A March Madness ladder challenge. It's different. I think it keeps you entertained too. It's already entertaining enough. Add in a little challenge to it. There will be enough days to do this. We'll make it fun. We'll make it entertaining. So that is going to be the ladder announcement. So obviously nothing until March Madness, which does mean a couple weeks. But we will do one once again. But we need some time to process that Purdue loss.
Yeah, you got to look back. You got to regroup, right? You got to relax, before you hop back in, right? You got to be refreshed.
It's not easy to do. So you don't want to rush it, and especially right now, these college basketball games the next week, they'll be kind of wild, as we will allude to tonight. Got to mount.
It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. Stuff doesn't make sense, and then happens sometimes. It is what it is,
sometimes it's just how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, shout out to Gonzaga at least. If it did come down to you guys, Drew, Timmy, and company, I would have loved you guys.
They're on fire right now. They look good.
I'm telling you. I said it, I think, last episode. They're for the first time in a long time, Gonzaga's underrated. They're usually
Yep.
overrated, overhyped. Maybe this is their year then, Krabs. They're kind of flying under the
Hey,
radar.
when everyone gives up on them, when nobody's
Yep.
talking about them, that's when they strike. That's how gambling works. That's how life works. Straight up.
That's where they thrive. So keep an eye on the Zags, as we will get into. All right, big day for college hoops, Krabs. Me and you, big college basketball guys. This is like my favorite time of the year. All right, because this is when conference tourneys start, and you start falling in love with teams that you didn't even know existed a week ago. Right? We got the Sun tournament today. All right, so let's first look at the odds to win the tournament. How is a team minus 230 to win a conference tournament?
I mean, they have Darius McGee. I guess that's how. But incredible. Look, Liberty is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. But so is Kennesaw State. This Kennesaw State team is an incredible story, Matt. They had a guy a couple years ago, a 4-star out of nowhere, commit to Kennesaw State when the team stunk, to put it, as simple as I could. The team stunk. He committed there. He brought a buddy from his school, and he said he wanted to stay local and build up the program, build up the team. Now they're here, and now they're, dominating, college basketball this season and have a chance to, get into the tournament here. That's the team that I would say has by far, the most value. I would never, ever, ever recommend you take a minus 230 future, especially in college basketball where the randomest shit of all time happens. If anything, like just cross Liberty off your list. Don't take it as a future. If anything, go a half U on somebody else. That's what I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't sleep on Queens either. Queens is really, really good. I'm telling
you, I was staring at that price, Krabs. What's weird is Queens' odds for the conference tournament are that, and then they're favored against Florida Gulf Coast. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Definitely odd-looking lines. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to assume most people watching this right now, not big A-Sun fans. I'm not a huge A-Sun fan myself. Do my homework on it. I keep up with the league as much as I can. But we have 2 games tonight, Krabs. This kicks us off. It gets us flowing, right? This is March, basically. 2 weeks left. But this should get you excited because this is win or go home. I mean, this is it. We get Bellarmine tonight versus North Florida. All right, quick backstory on this game, on these teams. Bellarmine last year, Krabs, do you remember what they did? They won the tournament, but they couldn't go because of eligibility.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So, not very fair to them, but that's how the cookie crumbles. We don't make the rules. We just bet on it. Bellarmine was obviously, eliminated because of that, even though they won. I forget who ended up going. Who they play, like Jacksonville or someone? I forget. But the bottom line is they won it last time. Nothing to show for it. Not as good this year. They had a kid last year, Dylan Penn. Remember him? He could fill it up. No longer there, which has obviously set them back.
Now he's at Vermont. Yep.
It set them back a little bit. They haven't had a very good year. Nonetheless, These 2 teams they did just play last week, North Florida actually beat them by double digits. North Florida tonight -3. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Bellarmine's been fake sharp literally the entire season. I don't know how they've gotten away with it. So they've had short lines all year. They don't cover, they don't win. So another short line here against a team they just lost to by double digits, like you just said. But you also just mentioned Dylan Penn. Gosh, throwback. He was one of the best players in the country last year. He was their entire team last year. He was their point forward. He was like LeBron for them. I'm not going anywhere near this game. Look, I lean Bellarmine again, but I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for the trap. Not doing it. They're the more experienced team for sure, but not betting them in this, fake sharp spot again. If I had to take a bet, though, I would take the points, but I'm not doing it. Nope.
Yeah. This is one I'm going to lay off. I do have a bet for the next game, but this is one where I can't really trust either side. Bellarmine, as we said, they may only have 2 guys on that entire team that average double figures. Scoring has been difficult for them. One of the guys who averages double digits actually comes off the bench. So they have 1 starter that averages double digits. A little scary to trust a team like that in this kind of game. I do think, North Florida probably wins. Bellarmine's just not what they were a season ago. Probably a layoff. If you want some action there, though, I would go North Florida. This is a game that's actually one of my favorite bets of the day. So we get Florida Gulf Coast versus Queen. Big Queens guy here, Krabs. They made me some money this year. A few times. What's your thoughts on this one?
What a great story they are. Team that just came up from D2 and hit the
Yep.
ground running. I mean, remember how hot they got off to a start? And the books
Yes.
had no idea how to cap them because, like, I talked to people who have their own models. Like, they can't pull the data from D2 because it's not comparable to, compared it against the other teams who are playing against D1. So it's almost like the books had to start from scratch, and they got crushed because this Queens team is really good. Their coach is a coach of that – whatever the $1 million prize, tournament they have, the basketball tournament where, you bring your team and a lot of it's like alumni of previous teams. I forget the name of the tournament, but the TBD or whatever it was. He coaches one of those teams, really good coach. They have Kenny Dye, who's one of the best point guards in the mid-majors in the entire country, straight up. So this team's legit. I like the line move from 1.5 to 2. I like Queens to get it done. Beloved Queens. They've been good to us this year, right?
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm back on Queens. You mentioned Dye, also AJ McKee, who so you have a pair of guards who have some experience there. McKee's also averaging double figures. I love teams, Krabs, that have experience and have good guard play. I think that's what Queens has. Cool thing about some of these teams also, they're built together. Like, not a lot of transfer in today's game. Transfer portal has become so dominant. Very rare to see the better players on the team being part of that team for a long time. That is what you get with most of this team from Queens. One guy on Florida Gulf Coast, though, that you have to watch out for, Isaiah Thompson. A lot of people remember him. He transferred in from Purdue. So when you're Florida Gulf Coast, Krabs, and you get a transfer from a Big Ten school, that's a big deal, right? It's especially a school.
Oh, yeah.
Even though right now we hate Purdue, there's no love for Purdue. When you add a kid from Purdue at his caliber, I mean, he had some really good years there. Off the bench, averaging 5-6 points, which doesn't seem like a ton. But in the Big Ten, off the bench at Salad, he's kind of doubled his minutes here at Florida Gulf Coast. He's tripled his scoring. He's up to about 15 per game. He is a guy that can fill it up. So on the other side of things, keep an eye out for him. Florida Gulf Coast, Salad team. We remember some of those Florida Gulf Coast teams, Krabs, from what was that, like the early
Dunk City, bro.
Yeah,
Dunk City.
I think Georgetown they knocked out. So they'll always hold a special place in the fans' hearts, but
But those are the teams we need to fade, though. Those are the teams we fade. Okay?
Yes, yeah. People see Florida Gulf Coast and they're still good, right? From 10 years ago, or whatever season that was. Let's bet on them. This is a good spot, I think. I think for Queens, I looking at this futures line too. I think I have to throw something on Queens. Man. I mean, that is an absurd. Now, what happens if they win though? They won't get in, right? Because of eligibility.
No. They won't be allowed to go, so it'll go to, I guess, whoever they beat. I think is what it is. But it's super weird. There's a couple conferences that are dealing with that stuff this year with some new teams from D2 that are really good.
Yeah.
Weird. I hate that rule. You're penalizing these kids who are very talented and they're working their asses off. I don't understand it.
Yeah, why are we penalizing them?
I don't understand it. I really don't understand the reason, but whatever.
Definitely doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But there's the odds. Like I said, I think Stenson's an interesting team too with their number. Or Stetson, either they could fill it up a little bit. Not going with Liberty there, Krabs. Minus 230 is not going to do it for me. If you're betting,
should be a safe late piece. Sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, third one up. Bet Liberty minus 230. I'll be mad at you. All right. So there's our little Ace Sun breakdown. There will be a few more conference stories that obviously begin as the week goes on, and then next week, Krabs, that's when it gets real fun. The power conference tournaments. I love those like 12:00 ACC games. You'll always get.
How are they not doing these all year? It makes no sense. Like,
it kills me.
You can't stagger these games out and put them on during the day. You know how many people would watch these games and not work instead of watching these games? Like, it'd be incredible.
The kids got to go to class, Krabs.
Put it on.
I guess, but we know they're not paying attention in class. They're gonna have the game up on their laptop, right? Come on now.
Yeah, it's huge. And if I'm the Ace Sun, you miss a chance today. If you imagine if this Bellarmine North Florida game was at 12 p.m., everybody's tuning in. So
100%.
A little bit of a miss. I know maybe these kids have to go to school. I kind of get it, but
I guess
it's one day. Make it fun. All right, top 25 games, Krabs. We got a couple tonight. We know you have a lot of thoughts on the one game, but let's start. It's our favorite conference, the Big 12. West Virginia, they're going to go to Ames tonight. Huge game for a lot of reasons. Iowa State. Here's the thing, Krabs, with West Virginia. Entering Friday, all right, Bracketology had them as first four in or whatever. So, like, They were on the bubble, but they were in a good spot. They lost by 2 to Kansas at home. I can't imagine that moves them out of the tournament. Pretty good loss if you're going to have it. I don't think – so I think right now they're still in. But
that probably didn't move them much. It probably kept them where they were.
Yeah.
They've got some great wins this year already, too. They're not going to have one after tonight, though. I mean, look, that line moving from, 4 to 5.5 here? 3 to 5.5. It tells me all Cyclones tonight. The Cyclones have been playing like crud recently. They've lost 4 or 5. They have not been covering. They haven't been taking care of business. I mean, especially their last game against Oklahoma where they were laying 7 and they couldn't win that game. They lost by 11 in that spot. So Vegas knows that or Vegas is expecting these Cyclones to get back on track tonight with this line, considering West Virginia has pulled off some nice upsets recently. So it's all Cyclones for me here.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it. Just 2 wins in the month of February, Krabs, for Iowa State. They have lost, 4 in a row? Or no, 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. 5 of their last 6 overall. It's been an ugly time to be an Iowa State fan. I want to start with this. I know they have a number next to their name right now. Thank God that'll be gone today. Iowa State should not be ranked. I hate Iowa State, Krabs. Every time I bet against them, they win. Every time I bet on them, they score 40 points. Listen, this is an Iowa State line tonight, though. So I'm going to be back on them, giving them another chance. But like I said, this game becomes big for them. They're going to be in the tournament, right? We know that. They're going to be a tournament team. Got off to a red-hot start. But here's the thing with them. Say you're ranked 23rd. When you do some math, you break it down, that probably puts them on like a 6 or 7 line, right, for the tournament. Now they're going to get moved down because they just picked up a couple more losses. They're probably an 8 or a 9 right now, Krabs. That's not where you want to be come March. Not where you want to be because we all know, first of all, that first game's tough because you're facing probably a power conference school that's ready to go as an 8th or a 9th seed. If you win, congrats, you have to face a 1 seed. So, not what you want to do if you're Iowa State. I mean, they are limping into the tournament. This is they're playing their worst basketball at the worst time. With all that said, like you said, tonight, the fact that the line's 5.5, it's continued to move in their direction. Give them another chance tonight. Expect a lot of defense in this game. If they could play it into their style, I do think they win. West Virginia has struggled on the road this year. Another knock on Iowa State, 2 wins in the conference on the road. I mean, that's just brutal. That's not going to get it done in March. I think they'll be a one and done. I mean, you can't do that. I know it's the Big 12. I know it's one of the best conferences. It's probably the best conference in college basketball. You cannot win 2 road games and expect to do anything come the month of March. So Iowa State, to me, they're a one and done. Maybe they do pull off a win, depending on the line that they come in. I think they're going to be an 8 or 9. They just don't have enough offensive firepower. I know they're a great defensive team. You need to be able to score the basketball come March. And you need guys who can take over the game. I just don't know if they have that at the moment. But big game here tonight in Stillwater. We'll kind of stall out this one. You don't have to officially give your pick, Krabs. This will be Krabs' best bet pick. But I got to mention Oklahoma State. All right, so again, this was entering Saturday. They were seen as a Final Four team, or last 4 in, which means basically they had no room for error. Well, they slipped up. They lost at home. They lost to Kansas State. They led that game by 8 with 13 minutes left. I was on the Cowboys Krabs. They let me down. This one tonight, if they lose this game, their season's over, right? Yep. I think we can agree with that. If they win this game, I think they're back in. So this is it. This is why this time of year is so fun. Most teams, most power conference teams, 2 games left on the year. What do you think about this one?
They're playing for their life. Hey, I'll dive into this one more a little bit when we come around to best bets. But OK State coming off some losses here. OK State's 4 in a row. They've lost. OK State's coming off that terrible loss, which almost might be the nail in the coffin for their season at home to Kansas State, like you said. But the Cowboys are 11-4 at home this year. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can keep their season alive.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we could do a whole segment, Krabs, on Bubble Talk. We won't stretch it out too long here, but let's just talk a few bubble teams real quick before we move on to it, because we did have some questions about it. We got a little bit of time. Coming into Saturday, so I haven't seen Joe Lunardi does them for ESPN. Obviously, every network kind of has their bracketology guy. His have been pretty accurate over the last few years. I'm going to read you going into Saturday, Krabs, the last 4 in, right? Mm-hmm. USC, they probably stayed in because they didn't lose. Wisconsin, you see that game yesterday? That was wild.
Yeah, that hurts them.
Does that knock
Hurts
them
them.
out, you think, if they were last
Probably.
year?
Probably for now. Yep.
Miss State, they won at home, right?
Huge. They're still in. Yep.
So it keeps them in. And then Oklahoma State, they probably fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And
But they're back. They're back into that after tonight, though.
If they win tonight. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the first four out. All right. This was Penn State was seen as the last out team. They lost last night at home to Rutgers. Might knock you out. Utah State. I don't know what they did this weekend. Actually, not sure about them. But then here's the other thing. This is where it gets tough. North Carolina, who won at home, first quad one win of the year against Virginia, and then the other team, Arizona State. I mean, that's like a quad 1-1-1 win.
Jeez,
at Arizona. So doesn't that make it fun? I mean, now, like, you can only put so many teams. Now, I do want to point out the last four byes. West Virginia was one of them, but they lost against Kansas. The other last four byes, Pitt, who won at home against Syracuse, Nevada, they will be in action tonight, and then Memphis, who won. So, like, I don't think you can knock any of them out. Maybe West Virginia, but it's going to be – I mean, there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that get kind of screwed when it comes down to it, right?
100%. I mean, that's how it always goes. It's like they don't have enough room. All these teams making pushes at the end of the season, right? So you get a couple teams who are hot at the end of the year, the last week or two, and you know, it comes down to all those net rankings, algorithms, all the stat nerds and you know, bracketologists who are saying, you know, they should be in, they should not. It's crazy. So I'm super excited down the stretch. I'd rather have it be this way than, you know, we already have it set, right? Let's play for some stuff and let's watch some games without meaning.
North Carolina, got to ask you, Krabs, in or out?
Well, it's going to be tough for them to make it in when they lose to Florida State on the road tonight. I'll say that. So
you think Florida State knocks them off? Imagine that.
Would not be surprised. Everyone in the ACC stinks equally, so it's them giving Florida State 7.5 here. It probably should be honestly a pick 'em with how inconsistent and terrible these teams are. But I'm tired of trusting UNC. I had them as my preseason favorites. I look like a buffoon at this point. Turns out they were never really that guy. They were just red hot at the end of March Madness last year, and you know, they didn't have a top 5, top 10 team, because if they did, they wouldn't be playing like this all year. So I am so fed up with that team. I'm done. Even with that win this weekend, which I was on, I'm still not happy.
Yeah, nope. Makes sense. Do you want to clean up one note on Utah State? As our producer Nigel just told me, they did play. They haven't played since last Tuesday. They did win against Wyoming, but just to not, you know, if you're asking about Utah State as a bubble team, they have not played in almost a week. My thoughts on UNC, as somebody did ask in the comments as well, UNC is going to get in, Krabs, because of their name. I do believe that. It's like that first-round quarterback who, like Carson Wentz, he's going to keep getting a chance, maybe not anymore, but they're going to give as many chances because of where they got, basically because of who they are.
Maybe not anymore, but
yeah. Now you might be joining the XFL soon. But the thing with UNC, they're blue blood, right? More ratings you put them in, it's just the truth. They have a bigger fan base. They have more fun.
They're going to do whatever they can. The committee will do whatever they can, where if it's close, they're going to put them in for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if it comes down to, you know, we were talking about Utah State, they're probably a little safer. But a team like that, a non-power conference team, they're going to put UNC in. I'm telling you, that's how it'll be. And UNC,
I agree.
If they get in, Krabs, who knows? Maybe they pull off some magic. They have every level of experience in March. I mean, they played through every round, so that has to mean something. But UNC is a bubble team to keep an eye on. We mentioned if Oklahoma State gets that win tonight, how pivotal that would be. Kind of knock them back into the tournament. I don't know. A lot going on. I mean, it's gonna be a wild week. Obviously, conference tourneys will have something to say with this as well. So. What we have right now, obviously, it's not going to be what it ends up with, but this is a significant week. Most of these teams, like I said, they have 2 games left. It's crazy. This is it. Regular season is done in a week.
I'm stoked we're hopping into conference tourneys today. That's the beginning of March Madness, in my opinion. It could be February today. I don't give a hoot. This is March. I'm so excited.
That's how you know it's starting, right? I mean, that's just how you know that there's significant games. When you're sweating out a Sun game, that's when you know that it's that time of year.
March is here, baby. Let's go.
Who else is watching that? So that's our little bubble talk. You know, we'll obviously get more into that as the season goes along. Let us know who who you guys think's in or out in the comments. We appreciate the feedback. Well, I don't know about that. We got a Duke fan, Krabs. Tar Heels need to win the last 2 games plus the ACC tourney to get in. I don't think that's true. Maybe the
What
last.
does Duke have to do to get in? They have to go back and replay their season?
That's a fair question. North Carolina does not have to win the ACC tournament to get in. I think they'll be. I think if they win like 1 or 2 tournament games, they're probably firmly in. Depends who. ACC kind of sucks too. Important to point that out. That it's not a strong conference. So like that's why losing games in the ACC can be costly. Like the one tonight, Florida State. How about all those buzzer beaters this weekend, Krabs? Florida State at the buzzer, Arizona State at the buzzer, State at the buzzer. The Celtics, we're not even going to mention that, at the buzzer. Just a wild weekend of buzzer beaters. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, Desmond Cambridge is almost, full court. Well, I guess it was more like half court shot for Arizona State was insane.
Absurd.
Right off the hands, I knew that was in. It was pure, an absolute dart. And if you watched him too, I think he was thinking that thing was going in right off the hands too. He was feeling himself. So that was incredible.
Yeah, he held it. He held it for a second. That's big time. I mean, just the weekend of buzzer beaters. I watched all 3 live too, which was pretty cool. I just tuned in at the perfect time too.
Well, that's very sharp of you, moving the TV remote. So, but I'm not surprised. Anything from DeadPres is going to be sharp, even the TV remotes. But yeah, you know what I would pay for? I would pay for a end of season clip of just all the buzzer beaters from the season. Just give me a video. I'll throw out $5. Somebody make that and sell it. That's a great product idea. There you go. There's a new business for somebody in chat. Go work on that.
Someone get to work on that now. Krabs will pay $5. Get him up. Get into it. Yes, Michigan did have an all-time cover yesterday. Iowa's cover. Holy had it. Iowa.
That was the craziest one I've ever seen.
I think that was the craziest cover of my life. Like I'm not. Yeah.
Were you on them?
Yes, I had them -5.5. And
lucky dog.
Lucky. I had Michigan. I mean, that's what I'm saying. At the moment, got a little bit of luck this year. By far, that I don't know if that'll ever happen again. I keep rewatching the game on YouTube because I didn't see it live. Saturday, gotta get done early.
They were down 13 with a minute and a half left, and they tied it up, and then they covered an OT. You can't script that any better. That's incredible.
Just an absurd way to cover a basketball game. All right, guys. Real quick though, 2 minutes before our best bet, we did have an NBA question. Celtics or Knicks, so I do want to. We don't have like an NBA segment for today because we got a lot of college hoops. That line's a Knicks line. Nigel will like that to bet against the Celtics, but I don't know. I'm not typically in the business of fading the Celtics. If I had to go any direction, though, it's probably a New York Knicks line. I will have a write-up out for the Heat Sixers game tonight. So.
No Jaylen Brown tonight for the Celtics. I don't know if you're factoring that in.
Okay, there we go. Injury report. Jaylen Brown is out tonight, so that's big. That could be big. Maybe that's probably the lines where it is. We see it at what's it, 2.5 right now or 2. Knicks have been solid this year. A little bit of a surprise year, but wow, someone had Baylor and UNC both to win by 8 for +550. That's not bad. That'll play. That'll play.
That plays for sure.
Yeah, that'll work. It's a good way to get her Saturday. All right, finally, guys, time for the best bets. Your guys' favorite segment of the show, the Krabs. It's going to be sharp as always. Going to start us off in Stillwater. We got Baylor versus Oklahoma State. Krabs, what do we got?
Yeah, give me the Cowboys at home. Talked about how dominating they are. This is nothing new. This is something this crummy team has been doing for the last couple of years. One of the best teams at home in the nation. Surprising. People are starting to take notice, though. And, hey, Cisse is one heck of a big man there in the paint. He should cause some issues for Baylor as they try to get into, the paint, drive and dish a little bit. But the main factor of this game, no Keontae George for Baylor, which I don't typically like fading bad news or fading injuries. But in this case, with how good of a star and freshman he is, I think this Baylor team, missing him, is pivotal. I think that's everything for this team. So I'm taking the sharp line here. Talked about it all the time, right? Home team with a winning record, getting between 1 and 10 points here against a ranked team has been a covering machine. Nothing different here. Grab the point at home, fade the public. They're all over Baylor here. We're taking Cisse and OK State to stop their little rut, get back on track tonight at home in Stillwater where they always succeed. They're going to take down the Bears tonight, but I'm taking the +1.5 always. Okay?
I love it. You convinced me. I mean, it's a game that perhaps I'm not betting it. If I did, I'd be on Oklahoma State with you.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just a tough spot for me to get away. It's an OK State line all the way, and like I said, we said they need this, right? They lose this game, pack your bags up, right? You're going to the NIT, so it's a significant game. I'm just fired up to watch this one as a fan, but big note there too. No Keontae George, and if you haven't watched Baylor much, this kid is one of the best freshmen in the nation. He's going to be a lottery pick. That is a significant blow for the Bears. So that's Krabs best bet, guys. OK State plus 1.5, minus 110. Home game tonight, and I'm fired up for that one. That's on. Where's that on BetMGM? I believe, or what book is that?
I got it on Caesars, but you can get it on MGM as well right now, 1.5. Yep.
Pretty much anywhere, I think right now.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go to the hardwood. We've been killing the NBA Krabs, so we're gonna keep it rolling. Looking at a matchup, we're going to the Big Easy tonight. We got the Orlando Magic flying in to take on the Pels. All right, the New Orleans Pelicans. They've been ice cold as of late. Nobody wants to back them right now except us. We're going to take them -4. This is the perfect bounce back spot. We talk about this all the time. Listen, the Pels have been disappointing this year after beginning the year as one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Remember them last year, what they did? Pulled off an upset. They gave the Suns everything they could handle. They did all of that without Zion Williamson. Coming into this year, we thought, all right, well, Zion's back. This team's going to be much better. Unfortunately for the Pels, he's been out of the lineup, over the last month or so. So injuries have kind of slowed them down as a team. But here's the thing tonight. Still have C.J. McCollum in this lineup. You got Brandon Ingram back. This is still a much better Pelicans team than Orlando, and they've played their best basketball at home this season. They've been a really solid home team, 20-10 in the Big Easy. So they've been really good when it's been time to take care of business at home. The Orlando Magic, on the other side of things, 10-20 on the road. So splits-wise, I like that. The Magic have been way better than we anticipated coming
at home. They've been a covering machine at home. Even I've noticed it. I'm not an NBA guy. Yeah,
you know that. I mean, they've been pretty good overall, against spread. But the thing that I will note with the Magic against the spread too, at least earlier in the year, a lot of their spreads were double digits, right? A lot of the times they were 8 or 9 point dogs. The lines have shortened a little bit because they've been better. The Pels also, on the other side of things, they have struggled. Losing 3-0, but this is a really good bounce back spot for New Orleans tonight. So -4. I think this line is an overreaction to the Pels' recent struggles and the Magic, like we said, being pretty good against the spread overall this year. But matchup advantages should be all over the floor tonight. So Pels can take care of business against the Magic. Ooh, that's tough. Not at home. You got to be better at home, Krabs. It's a must-win game tonight at home for the Pels. So that's where we're going to go. We got 2 winners. Trying to catch up on the comments. Krabs took Oklahoma State. Somebody asked. Yeah, it is on the screen. That is fair. +1.5, and then I got the Pels -4 tonight. So those are our 2 best bets of the day. Mine is on FanDuel, -4, -110. I believe that's like the line at 99% of the books, but keep an eye out for that. Guys, we're feeling good about tonight, right? A little sweet. Why not?
Yeah. Why not us? Feeling dangerous. Got to start the week off right. Why not us, Matt?
That's what I'm saying. All right. Keep getting comments. People saying they don't want to wait till March for the ladder. What I'll do, guys, I'll run a poll. We're either going to do it next week. We could start conference tournaments. That's fine. I'll settle for that. But it has to be power conference tournaments. I'm not putting the ladder on the A-Sun. I'm sorry.
You're not putting Queens in the ladder. Disrespect.
Queens can't make the ladder yet. I'll run it. You guys tell me what you want. I'm assuming conference tourneys will win. But we can do conference tourneys and March Madness. So we'll make it fun. We'll try to drag it out, right? Make it as entertaining as possible. So that's going to be it for tonight. Like we said, keep an eye out for more bets throughout the day. Have some articles coming out. We'll cut up our picks, give you guys a short segment to them as well. But lots to get into tonight. Krabs, people keep asking me why not money line. Just take the points, right? I mean, they might lose by 1.
Always take the points.
Yeah.
Always take the points. Always take the points.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's done. You take the points for a unit and you bankroll manage, and quality over quantity. You be picky. You pick your spots, and that's how you win. Okay, you don't win by getting greedy and taking M-mouse. All right, It's not as fun, but it's more profitable. All right. Hey, I've seen a lot of 1-point games in my time in college basketball. Would not be surprised to see one again tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 1-point game. Listen, if they lose on a buzzer beater by 1, and you're the guy who had money line,
I'm going to look like Megamind.
yes. Yep. I'm just saying. Just keep an eye out. And all you're just gonna have dreams about Krabs telling you take the points. So
there we go.
Take the points tonight, guys. Before we wrap this up, one final giveaway that we're doing with OddsChecker. The month of February absolutely flew. I mean, it felt like it wasn't even here, but it's gone. We have 2 days left of February, which means you have 2 days to enter this $500 giveaway that OddsChecker US is doing. It is so easy to enter that it actually takes most people under 3 seconds to do. All you have to do is subscribe and comment on any of our videos. Now, what you have to subscribe to is the YouTube page, of course, which is at OddsChecker US. So take a minute right now. Once this video is over, which it'll be over in about a minute, type in YouTube, go to our link at OddsChecker US, and then just subscribe and then comment on any video. You can comment on today's episode, yesterday's episode. It does not matter which episode you comment on. But once you do, you are entered in $500. Everybody needs $500 right now with March Madness coming up. No excuse not to enter. It is that easy. There's much more difficult things in life to do than to enter a $500 giveaway contest. And most people do it. So make sure you guys get in on that. That'll be fun. The winner will be announced, obviously, once February is concluded. There's 2 days left, February Krabs, and then it is March.
Wild.
March Madness coming back.
But as we know, though, Matt, it's already March for us, brother.
It is. It is. Queens is kicking off March tonight, right? I mean,
yes, sir.
The A-Sun is kicking it off. That's why we're so fired up. MLB was watching my Phillies yesterday. I mean, it's an exciting time to be a sports fan. All right, guys. Well, it was a good time. We appreciate everybody who hopped on, everybody who commented, stayed with us throughout the episode. Same time tomorrow. Hopefully after a sweep. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great Monday.